we think about having discipline, and it's really hard to do certain things. I couldn't do that, or I couldn't do this. But you can do simple modifying things, is what you're saying. And one of the most simplest things we could do if we're aware is just the appreciation of it. And like what you said about the love, I want it as long as it... Did you say that on camera, or was that before? You said it on camera.
I said it.
You said as long as it's prepared with love.
Mm-hmm.
And then another simple thing that we can do with our food is the gratitude behind it. The praying is really just saying, thank you for this food, we're grateful. Just that simple aspect isn't that big of a deal. The other thing that I do sometimes to myself, not out loud, I send a blessing to the person who did whatever it was. So say it was like strawberries. So it was, may or may not have been organic, but strawberries. Sometimes, like when I'm on my path, and I haven't been on it as much lately, but when I'm on my path and I'm really firing on sword, there's intentionality in lots of areas of my life, and I will visualize the person who picked the strawberries, or the person at the assembly line that's making sure the strawberries are landing into the tray the right way. And in my mind, I will energetically send them a blessing and say, thank you for what you've done for me. And
absolutely,
if you did that if you did that often, because the law of reciprocity is what you give is you get back. So if you did that all the time, think of all the blessings that would be coming back to you in your life.
Right.
By
what winds up happening?
You got to eat anyway, right?
What winds up happening is life, and we're not these gurus sitting on a mountaintop praying all day long. Yeah. So we're human. We fall off of our
I'm very human
fall off of the
right
mountain,
now.
And forget our meditation practices, forget our yoga practices, whatever it is that keeps you when you're in that zone, when you're in that zone and you're right on and you're in your practice, and then something comes up.
So that's
have you come off.
That's what I think it's all about. That's why in my belief system we chose to come into these bodies and be who we are, because those challenges come up for us to face them.
Yeah.
Will we or won't we stand and deliver, right?
Right.
So how will we choose to evolve? Will we choose to stay stuck and let whatever it is push us off the path? Or will we say, no illusion, no Maya, I see you for what you are, and I am going to persevere, and I don't want to live that way anymore. Thanks for the lesson. Blessings on your way. But here's where I'm headed.
And that comes from confidence. It comes from experiencing. That's where I go back to with David, is that level of commitment. When you fall off of your level of commitment, constantly you start beating yourself up for it and thinking you're not good enough, or I'll do this again, but I'm not going to do that. Well, your level of confidence constantly goes down. So the more you can recommit, and not beat yourself up, your level of confidence comes up to where you finally can say, you know what, I'm done with that. That no longer is a part of me. And it doesn't really matter what shows up.
It's true.
I'm done with it.
So I work with a lot of cancer recovery people. And when we talk about lifestyle change, it can be really daunting. And first it takes a level of commitment to realize that you've chosen a lifestyle path that brought you to where you are. And then another conscious level of choice to say, I can move beyond this place. Where do I start? So I like to say something about the way we are as humans and how we were brought into this world with our parents, and we offer them blessings and thanks for bringing us here. They obviously did the best they could with the understanding and abilities that they had. How do we parent?
Right.
That often shows up as a mirror of how we were parented, but how do we choose to parent is often what comes to the forefront, and we choose to parent with love. And we forget to parent ourselves with love.
Wow.
So if you decide in the midst of a decision, just to take a step back and say, would I let my child do that?
Right.
Is this the best choice for my baby? When our kids get bigger, we're like, yeah, whatever. Blow it off, hand it back, right?
Yeah.
It's just a little
Yeah.
bit of dirt.
5-second
or whatever. But if remember like the first baby, and you're so pristine and you're so
Yeah.
precise and perfect. What if we treated ourselves with that kind of love? And we're going to get away from commitment, and just go to the word self-love. Because really, I think that's what we're getting
it is.
down to, And we have to commit and recommit to our self-love. I love myself enough to take the time for me. I love myself enough to lead by example. I think about my poor daughter. Holy cow. Has watched me go through a million incarnations of myself,
Awesome. That's
and
awesome.
every time, trial by fire, and I rise like the phoenix again in her life, I'm like, well, this is what we're doing now. And fortunately, it's all been in the same kind of genre, but sometimes she's like, another didgeridoo ceremony in the living room? Really? And she jokes about it, but at the same time, I hear her, talk to kids about herbal remedies for this and that. Oh, you've got a stomach ache? Come over. I've got mint tea.
That's
And
awesome.
I'm thinking,
it's
she's
sticking
got
through.
it. It really sinks in
Yeah.
because I live it.
Yeah.
Because there's mint tea in the kitchen.
Yes.
Not Pepto-Bismol.
Yes.
So there it is,
Yeah.
And even though it might seem odd here and there, it all boils down to how committed am I to loving this person and giving her the best foundation that I can, and then you have to turn that back to yourself.
So let's turn this back over to David for a little bit, because what you just did is you took commitment and switched it over to commitment of self-love.
Yeah.
Really. So, and
even the passion thing.
Yeah.
You said, instead of using the word, let's break it down and use the word passion, because that's a positive connotation, versus commitment to most people is scary, something that's limiting your choices.
But the show is really all about you and your own awakening and your own journey. So
I didn't tell you that, did I?
Yeah.
Oh, I did. Okay.
Yeah.
So what
I
happened?
didn't think you're going to be on here if you
David.
do that.
So what's just transpired here is we started out with
Language.
commitment
Yeah.
last week. Yeah, is the language of it, and now we're into the commitments of self-love.
Right.
Are you aware of areas that you may be neglecting yourself, almost as if you were being witness of somebody neglecting your child?
Sure, and I'm not sure if we're going to go to a break or not, but I was in a meeting with some people earlier, and they're talking about a wellness center, and everyone was asked to write their definition of well-being. And I wrote a very intimate, personal definition of what I think well-being is. And if we have a break, or you guys can talk a minute,
Well, I think
I'll
we can probably go head into a break, because I
Yeah.
think that would be a great transition.
because I can talk about that.
Perfect. I think that's great. We'll
I
be
think
right
that
back
answers your
with
question.
Awakening with DK and find out what he's awakening to this week.
I'm
Dave's
drinking.
got water, so
I'm like drinking my.
Woo!
I love
We're
this thing.
like ghosts just
All right,
reappearing
we're
out of
on.
thin air.
Yeah, love
We're
it.
back
Okay,
on.
With our water.
so where we
Did
were
you see
at,
this Life Factory?
like he just goes off again.
Life Factory.
Yeah.
It's great.
Are you plugging something, David?
Well, maybe I should.
Is
but
this like
that's
a
not what
Truman
I'm about. No.
We've
Well,
got
I'm going to put it right here. My water.
I need to get you focused because we only
Yes.
have about 15 minutes, and I want to make sure that we cover this and also talk about your Yoga and Spa magazine really quickly, just to make sure, because I think that what you guys are doing, what you and Stacey are doing with that magazine is phenomenal.
And Lucinda.
And Lucinda. And
There's three of us.
Okay, there's three of you. I had a feeling I was missing one. I knew of the two, but I didn't know. Okay. So you were just at this visioning.
You were
thing
asking me about. We talked about commitment, and then you said you're going to be making a commitment. We were talking general commitment. Now we brought it into commitment of self-love, which is like, holy crap! I got 44 years of stuff to work through there. But anyway,
really, because today's a new day.
I know.
You're born.
I know. You're so good. But so my response to that, you said, so what does that look like, or whatever. So my response was about what does well-being look like to me, and hopefully I can read my writing. I'm going to have to blog about this too. This is good.
Mm-hmm.
What is well-being look like for me? Well-being to me is when I honor and respect myself enough to commit myself to my wellness journey. My decisions about food, exercise, the way I treat myself and others are easy to make and are in alignment with this way of being. Internal conflict is minimal, as is the anxiety that is present when I am not in alignment with this. I feel peaceful. I feel loved. I love sharing love. My connection to Source is evident in all areas of my life. I am in the flow, and I am co-creating my intentful life in partnership with God. In this space, it's a space where fear disappears. I honor and respect other people and learn from everyone.
That's beautiful.
I was going to say, it almost sounded like at the beginning, because you can hear in the verbiage like you were thinking. Yeah. And at the moment you chose to stop thinking and just go into writing and be connected to your source, that was when the true feelings wound up showing up. So in my observing of you in the last several years, I'm going to tell you, it is so amazing for you to be as vulnerable as you are on camera. Because
I read that. I thought that was on break.
Because I think that you are just like so many other people out there that are wondering, what is this? What is my purpose? What is my passion? And how do I love myself? How because that is a layer in itself. Like the onion, peeling it back one layer at a time, knowing that there's always going to be another layer. Yeah. And the onions make you cry.
Yeah, that's true. And not to get so caught up in the what is my purpose and what is my passion, because it's ever changing. Mm-hmm. It's, my sweet daughter, the didgeridoo ceremony one day, kirtan the next day. What is your passion is different from day to day.
Yeah,
exactly.
So we get so hung up, I think, on one thing. Okay, now I'm a Buddhist. Right?
Can I ask you something? And I'm going to interrupt you again because you can coach me here. Okay? Are you cool with that?
I'm cool with that.
Okay. Here's something I've beat myself up on for a long time. Is I do a lot of different